And remember that there's nothing you need to do or achieve. You just set that intention to stay as still as possible and as present as possible. And let the weight of your body be fully in the mat. And breathe. Going to rotate around your body now, feeling each part of the body in turn. And again, there's nothing you need to do. We're just going to feel through the body this time. So we're going to start with the mouth. What I want you to do is just be aware of the tongue and the mouth, feeling the shape of the tongue, the warmth of the tongue and the teeth, feeling the lips. And on the upper lip, that a feeling of breath coming in and out of the nostrils, and being aware through that of the nose. The kind of warm air leaving the nostrils and the cool air coming in. Just being aware of the whole of the bridge of the nose here. From the bridge of the nose, becoming aware of the cheeks. Of the eyelashes touching the tops of your cheeks, and the eyelids kind of gently touching. Can you be aware of the eyebrows and the full sweep of the forehead, all the way round to the temples? Becoming aware of the ears now, the outer architecture of the ears, and tracing sensation into the ears, to the inner ears themselves, back into the centre of the head. Being aware also of the scalp, all over the skull, right the way from hairline to hairline. So you're aware of the whole of the head now, all the way down to the back of the neck. And feeling the breath, again, coming in and out of the throat now, coming in and out of the neck. Feeling the rising and falling of the collarbone, that gentle opening and closing of the shoulders, even of the armpit. And following, tracing that sensation all the way down the upper arms, and through the elbows, and into the lower arms, the forearms, all the way to the wrists, the sensitive skin of the wrist. Feeling the difference between the sensation on the palms of the hands and the backs of the hands. And reaching all the way into the fingertips, feeling all the way to the tips of the fingers now. So that you're one field of sensation from the tips of the fingers all the way back up to the head. And still the breath moves, the rising and falling of the chest, the opening and closing of the ribs, and the rising and falling of the belly, and the skin of the belly, and that gentle movement of the inner organs moving together. And the skin of the back, and the full sweep of the spine, all the way from the tailbone back up to the throat, back up to the back of the neck. The full length of the spine, all the way down to the buttocks, and the hips, and the groin, and then into the hips, and down into the thighs, tracing sensation now all the way down past the knees, all the way into the calves and the ankles, and into the feet, and seeing if you can feel each of the toes separately or together. And feeling now all the way from the tips of the toes, all the way back up through the body, one radiant field of sensation, all the way up to the crown of the head. And from the fingertips all the way up to the crown of the head, so the whole body becomes one radiant field of sensation, present, relaxed, still and aware. And with each breath, that comes into the body, rising up to the crown of the head, and with each breath leaving the body, flowing all the way down to the tips of the fingers and the tips of the toes, so that each wave of breath rises up the body and flows back down. Rises up the body and flows back down. And with each breath, as each breath leaves the body, effortlessly taking with it anything you no longer have useful, any residual tension, like a cleansing wave flowing through the body. Until you feel yourself start to float with the breath, floating on the breath like waves on an ocean. The rising and falling of the breath, the rising and falling of the breath, and the heart center rising and falling with the breath, the heart center rising and falling with the breath. Imagining for me now that your right hand is settled into a cool flow of water, as if you were just angling your fingers in a stream, feeling the cool water rushing over your fingers. And your left hand now, your left hand as if it is plunged into warm sand on a beach. You're feeling the warm, dry sand flowing through your fingers. The right hand flowing with cool water. The left hand in warm sand. And can you feel them both at the same time? And leaving that now, leaving that behind, recalling a time when you felt fairly stressed, a little uptight, you had a lot to do, whatever it is. And there's no need to recreate that completely, just recalling. How does it feel? How does it feel in the body, in the heart? How does it feel to just be a little uptight and a little stressed? And when was the last time you felt completely relaxed? You just had nothing to do. Maybe you were having a nice long lie in, or maybe you were lying on a beach, whatever it is. Again, you don't need to get lost in that experience. It's just a question of how that felt. How did that feel? And can you explore those extremes, those experiences from one to the other? From that place of being a little bit stressed to that place of being really relaxed, moving backwards and forward, backwards and forward, backwards and forward. And maybe there's a place where you can feel both of those things at the same time. And then let that go. And just for a moment, can you see the following things? Can you see a circle of friends? Can you see a single candle flame burning Can you see the dark sky overhead? And a frail old man or old woman? Can you see a bright spring morning? Can you see a perfect rosebud? Perfect rosebud with a single raindrop. And then let that go too. And consider all that you own, all that belongs to you, all the mundane things, all the precious things. Know with each thing that you remember that you are more than that. Consider all the things that you know. Simple things, complicated things, silly things, profound things. And as each one comes to you, again, know that you are more than you know. Consider all the things that you believe, those hard-won truths, those precious, precious things. And as each one comes to you, know that you are more than the things that you believe. Consider now the things and the beings that you love. What are the beings in this world that are precious to you? The ones that make your heart sing. Can you remember that you are more even than this, more than the things that you love, the beings that you love? And I invite you to repeat to yourself the words, I am that. Soham, I am that. With each breath, as each breath leaves the body, I am that. Repeating now to yourself on each exhalation just the words I am. I am. And now just repeating to yourself on the exhalation, just the word I. 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 And finally, letting even that go. And resting in the place beyond. Coming back now to the sound of my voice. To the experience of the physical breath moving in and out of the body. Slowly becoming aware of the space around you, the weight of your body on the mat, the blankets and covers. Inviting your breath to begin to deepen. Beginning to make once more those small movements, maybe the fingers, the toes. Maybe a yawn and a wriggle. Good time. Taking any route that makes sense to you to come back up to sitting in your own time.